And what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of the Live, Laugh, Laugh podcast. We're back again with Garry. Garry's here.
Hello, everybody.
We got a lot to go over today. The Final Fours are set for both men's and women's basketball and hockey. So we'll go over all of those. Baseball has started up, so we're going to go over that, how that's been going so far. And of course, we got a couple football things, got a couple NASCAR things, obviously. So it should be pretty good. And some other things to go over, too. As some playoff races tighten up and things get interesting. I didn't have any trivia today. Garry, I don't know if you came up with any trivia. No. Okay, then we'll move on. We fell asleep before we started recording. Sounds like a Garry type thing to do, but it was me today. Sorry, I had a headache. I took drugs. Anyway, we'll start with football, just to get that out of the way. I only had one thing, really. This is a funny one. So Nick Marsh, everybody remember him? He transferred to Indiana. Indiana recently had their first round of spring practice or whatever, their first spring practice. It's like their first practice for the next season. And Nick Marsh was there. He decided it would be a great idea to show up as a transfer to the defending national champion team and wear gold cleats. Smart idea there. And Curt Cignetti, being Curt Cignetti, did not take to this well and chewed his ass out. He kind of called out MSU in the process, being like, I don't know what they let you get away with at MSU, but you ain't getting away with that here. And you know what? Touche. They probably let him get away with a lot because he's the only receiver that could do anything. So that's it. That's all the football. That's the only football thing I had. So I don't know if you had anything, Garry, or not.
Not really. Nope. Nothing.
Baseball's in action as well. Well, baseball's picking up action. MLB season started. So we're going to start going over Tigers game results. The lug nuts start tonight, actually, at the time of this video coming out. The Tigers start. The lug nuts start, so we're not going to start going over that yet, but we will when that happens. But for the Tigers, they had their opening series. They're still on the road. Their first series, they beat the Padres on opening day, 8-2. Then they beat the Padres again, 5-2. Then they lost the series finale to the Padres, 3-0. And now they are in Arizona. Last night, or I guess the time we're recording this Tuesday. So last night, Justin Verlander made his first start in a Tigers uniform in over 3,000 days. And he got killed. Arizona, they're in Arizona. They lost to Arizona 9-6. They were down 8-0. The Tigers did try to make a comeback. They had the bases loaded in the 7th with down 2, and Parker Meadows struck out. So that was the end of that. Verlander got killed. He got pulled out. Just didn't even pitch 4 innings. He got pulled after 3.2 innings. Gave up 5 runs. Couldn't really do anything. He might be cooked. Chat. Might be cooked. I still have faith. I think he's going to do fine. We saw King Scooble pitch. King Scooble pitches again later today as well. So it's going to be fun. And so not a terrible start for the Tigers, beating the Padres on the road. A good series win. I think they'll rally to beat Arizona. It's just Arizona. Nothing fucking crazy. So I think they'll be fine. Trying to think of anything else baseball related that I had. I don't. Oh, actually, yes, I do have one other thing. So yeah, obviously the Tigers started and all the MLB started. And this year is the first time that we are seeing the ABS challenge system come into play. Automatic system to challenge strike calls.
Are they putting it in the minor league too?
I'm assuming so, but I'm not sure 100%. You'll have to find out when you're there.
Actually, there is actually one news for the Lug Nuts, but I'll let you continue.
Well, I just wanted to comment on the ABS system. I've seen a few challenges from it with the Tigers, and funny enough, the very first challenge on the ABS system was a ball thrown right down the middle. That was called a ball, and they challenged it, and it was overturned. But it was a woman umpire, so there you go. Actually, I don't know if that was true, but I think it's a good system because it's not like the NBA or college basketball challenge systems where it's basically just a free media timeout and it takes fucking forever for no reason. It's a pretty cut and dry system that they have here, so it's really quick and it's definitive. So I'm not really mad at it. I think it's a good system. It challenges pitchers to hit the strike zone, and it leaves no possible error for umps or anybody, as long as players or teams actually take the accountability to go and challenge it. So I think it's going to work really, really well. Obviously, I think there's going to be some flaws and some kinks that are going to pop up as the season goes on. We're not even a week into the season yet, but I think to start, with what we've seen with it right now, it's working out really, really well. So I'm very, very happy about that. Okay. All right, that's all I had for baseball stuff. I know, Gary, you got to go over the MSU baseball results from the last week, and I think you had a couple other things on there too for baseball.
Yes, I did. But first, speaking of MSU baseball, the Growlers are going to have an MSU bat or a pitcher. Zam Beamer is going to the Growlers this next coming up year. So hopefully he pitches well, because I would love to see a MSU player get one of these babies. And yeah, I'd love to see it. But other than that, and for the Growlers, that's it. No, nothing too much. Again, it's not time for Growlers baseball yet, but when it's time, I will talk about it. For MSU baseball, I have it on my phone here. Tuesday, March 24th, they went into Central Michigan and clobbered them.
Literally.
19-8.
They literally clobbered them. Oh, no, that was a different game. Thinking of a different game. When Central and Toledo got into a massive fight.
Thank you, Michigan State, for telling the stupid Chippewas who is the better Michigan team. Western, in my opinion. But let's be honest here. Michigan State is better. Anyways.
Well, actually, Central is a really good baseball program.
Shut up,
So,
shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. No one asked. Shut up. Um, then they went to Purdue. Or no, they were at home against Purdue for the second homestand. And let's just say I had high hopes because they were on a 2-game win streak because they beat Purdue the first game, and then they lost the second game, 16-13,
yeah, that wasn't fun. They were
and
up
then
8
lost
to
the third
2.
game, and then lost the third game, 11-4. And then they were supposed to have a game against Central Michigan again today, but it was canceled because it's raining. So let's just hope the next game, which is the Lugnuts, doesn't get rained out because I work that day. I swear to
The
God,
weather
if
doesn't
I
look
have to
great.
come, if I have to come in the next day, I'm going to be irritated. Anyways, their next Big Ten team they will face will be Northwestern. So, yeah. And then that's it for MSU baseball. For Lansing Lugnuts news. Speaking of the MSU and Lugnuts game, there are some new rules that are going to be in place.
Rules.
Let's
This is stupid.
but it's fun news. You're going to like it. Maybe. I don't know. So, and I'm going to this. Let's see here. There's going to be a new format. That's the one. The format is this. Let's see. Find it. Will be entirely machine pitched and set for a 2-hour time limit, 9-inning limit, whichever comes first. No bunting or stealing. Bases or stealing bases are allowed. So no bunting, no stealing, none of that. A team must swing the bat to score runs. There is no penalty for swinging and missing, with each batter receiving 6 pitches to put the ball in play. Lastly, and this is an insane one. Each inning will see offenses receive a second chance rally after 3 outs are recorded. The bases will be wiped clean and outs reset.
What the
What you're
fuck?
basically telling me is this is banana ball.
Yeah, it's pretty much fucking banana ball. What the fuck?
Look, I wish I could tell you it was an April Fool's joke. It's not. The local news channel posted this. That's how you know it's real.
Why? My thing is like, why are both teams such fucking cowards that they won't do real pitchers? Like, all right, all
This
right,
is
all right. No bunting, whatever. No stealing bases, whatever. Right?
this is what I think is the reason. The next day, the Lugnuts have a game. Why would they tire out their pitchers against a college team? And same thing goes with Michigan State. They have a game 2 days later. Why would they tire out their guys?
Because they don't have to use their actual pitchers. They could just fucking throw a position player out there. Have them
What, and
throw
get hit in the
meatballs.
face?
Have them throw fucking meatballs and call it good. At least then it's more authentic baseball than the fucking pitching machine. Don't even get into the rest of that shit. The fuck? What the fuck?
Here's the thing that's gonna make it easier for me, at least, working there. If that happens, mostly people will be out in the outfield. trying to get the home runs. So I don't have to deal with them
That is true.
unless someone gets hit in the face. Then I have to deal with it.
God, I wish that would happen. I'll start a fight. I'll come to a game and start in a fight, and Garry has to deal with it.
In other words, one more thing. Midwest League just announced that the first game of the year for the West Michigan Whitecaps are going to get a replica ring for the fans. First 1,000 fans get replica rings.
That's pretty cool.
To honor their championship ring.
That's
literally, I'm not even joking. If the Lugnuts were to win a championship and the Lugnuts did this, I would buy a single ticket when the tickets come out, and I would be the first single person in line, and I would tell my boss, okay, listen, I will be in there in a second. I am getting that fucking ring.
I think he'd
So,
understand.
oh yeah, he would. Then again, or, the workers would get the ring anyways for free, but
They probably do. They probably would, at least.
I mean, the front office for the Whitecaps got theirs. So, by the way, if they ever do that and they win the championship, and we're still doing this, we will definitely put that on here, and we will show you our rings.
Damn right.
'Cause
I earned my championship rings, unlike a certain other program that's got plays in Ann Arbor, Michigan, you know.
it's okay. The women team lost.
True, they did. Let's go. Anyway, do you have anything else baseball related?
Nope. Let's head on to hockey, where we had interest.
No, we're gonna save that for later. Yeah, we got a lot of hockey and basketball to go over, so we're gonna go over that later. I do want to say the Tigers are about to be ongoing in a game against the Diamondbacks. Oh shit! Nope, they're not. That starts at 9:40.
I'm not watching it because I don't have the channel. By the way, for people that are watching Detroit Sportsnet, you guys are lucky because YouTube TV does not have it. I am upset because every single time I want to watch it, blackout, blackout, blackout.
I have it.
I know you do.
I'll give you the login. I don't care a fuck.
No.
It's pretty good so far, I will say. It's
maybe
pretty
after
good.
this. Maybe after this.
It's a pretty good streaming thing so far. Jason Benetti's still there, and Dan Dickerson was on the opening day call because Benetti was over at the NCAA tournament games, and it was really fun. It's great. It's pretty good quality. About what I honestly think the score bug is better than the FanDuel one was, which is nice. But I don't know. I mean, there's not. The only thing is that it's weird because if you watch it on a computer, like my PC, or like if I put it on a computer at work, you don't have to. You just get it straight through the browser. But on my phone or TV or my iPad, you have to download the app and then log in, which is fine. It's just weird that it doesn't make you do anything extra on the computer. I've watched it on the computer. Computer's fine. I've watched it on my iPad as well. That was fine, except sometimes it bugged out and then it just randomly pauses, even though you didn't click the pause button. And so you're wondering why the screen is frozen. And it's because it was paused. And then it's really, really hard to get back to the live broadcast. you have to just press the 10-second skip button a bunch of times to get to the front because you can't. There is a scroll bar. You can like scroll, but it doesn't work. It'll just take you all the way back to the start of the broadcast, which doesn't make any sense to me. But who am I to judge? But otherwise, I think it works fine.
Okie dokie.
But that's it for baseball. Cover more of that next week. Before we talk about NASCAR, I do want to touch on one crazy thing. And it's golf related. Tiger Woods got into another crash. He got into another rollover crash via DUI. What is this guy doing?
He's being an idiot is what he's doing.
He's being a giant fucking idiot. Like, how in the... It really just... Really wild how this guy does not have his license revoked yet.
Honestly.
Like, how has nobody at any time thought to take this fucking guy's license away until he can get help? What are we doing, people? That's all I had for that. Now move on to NASCAR. Martinsville happened. Xfinity race was pretty good, I thought. I only watched the highlights, but what I saw was pretty good. There were some guys up front that don't normally see the front. Some of these guys that don't run the full season. And they had a shot to win. Especially the guy in the 9 car had a shot to win, except he couldn't execute a restart to save his life, which took out a lot of other drivers in the process, but that's what happens, I guess. Wasn't really that close at the end. It was pretty close at the end. It wasn't super, super close, though. Justin Allgaier had a really dominant day. Fell back a little bit near the end, but not too far, and was able to rally and score his 3rd win of the season. So that was that. The Cup race I did get to watch in full, and that was boring as shit. That's how I know that it's the car, not the track, because the Xfinity race was good and the Cup race was bad.
And the modified race was good. I actually watched the modified race for the first time.
To be fair, I am tired of shit. To be fair. But to be fair, it wasn't the worst next-gen Martinsville race that I've ever seen. But it wasn't. That doesn't mean it was good. The best part of the race was when Bubba Wallace decided to go ape shit and wrecked half the field. Also, Denny Hamlin punted Ryan Blaney into the wall. I thought that was funny. That was cool, I guess. But it really just amazes me, and I know like the track surface obviously is degrading, right? It's aging. It's what happens with time. But it never used to be at Martinsville or any of these short tracks, to be honest with you, where you would at the end of the race just see the fronts of these cars caked in rubber from the tires wearing out and the brakes. You never used to see that. Now you see that all the time. It's like, what the fuck? Why does it keep happening? It's because Goodyear's cheap as shit. NASCAR won't get away from them. I mean, you know it's bad. Like any short track race that has green flag pit stops is automatically bad. Sorry. That's a hot take maybe, but I say it. You can't. It's a short track race for a reason. Short track races don't have green flag pit stops. They should never have green flag pit stops. That's how short track racing works. You want green flag pit stops? Go to fucking Watkins Glen or go to fucking Michigan or go somewhere else that have green flag pit
Exhibit
stops.
A. This, if you're, he's talking about tire, right? That. That is what he's talking about.
Yeah, and it was bad on the
Look at
11
that
car.
tire.
It was bad on the 22 car. It's bad on all the cars.
Here's a good picture for the 11. I mean,
It's fucking ridiculous. It's insane. Like, this should not be a problem. Yet it is, because Goodyear is a failing fucking company. Literally, if NASCAR was not affiliated with Goodyear, they wouldn't be existing anymore. And it pisses me off because Martinsville sucks now. Which sucks because it's a historic track. Bristol sucks now. Richmond sucks now. And I don't like it. Alright, anyway. That was Martinsville. We took Byron in fantasy. Not bad pick. 15 stage points plus a 5th place run. Not bad. But the real winner on the day, Chase Elliott. The only good thing to come out of that race, the winner.
Chase, baby.
Now I will admit he got very fucking lucky with a couple cautions. Because he was way off sync with pit strategy and they got bailed out. But you know, and sometimes in NASCAR, not just NASCAR, but any sport, you need a little bit of luck. And he got a little lucky today.
I mean, it was smart for him to short pit because he knew that, or his crew chief, Alan Gustafson, knew that everyone else was going to pit here soon. So why not short pit? There's going to be hopefully a caution. And what do you know, when Denny Hamlin passed him, caution. So now you're in second, having a good chance of winning. I mean, it was smart. It could have been bad, but it worked. I just feel bad for Denny Hamlin. He led almost the entire race.
Yeah, Hamlin had the best car all day and didn't win.
All weekend.
But he got the
From
most
practice
points.
to qualifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got the most points on the weekends, which actually matters now. So, not the worst thing in the world, but don't tell him that. But anyways, that was Martinsville. Got some other NASCAR news to go over as well. Garry wants to go over the standings actually for Martinsville. Forgot. Poker chip standings.
Do we even need to go over it?
I win again.
Tyler is 3-0. I have not won a single race. Speaking of which, we did also a guest record. 0-1 for them too. So Tyler is just destroying everybody, including our guests. I hate you.
At least I'm winning in something.
Shut up.
All right. Anyway, a few other NASCAR related things. Darius Rucker, the singer, took taking some ownership stake in Legacy Motor Club. I don't know why he's doing that, but he's doing it. So congrats, I guess. NASCAR's also considering a higher horsepower package on the bigger tracks, like the super speedways.
No.
I would not be opposed to it. But honestly, I think we need a higher horsepower package on the shorter tracks.
What Tyler said, yeah. Because it's like, do they count Michigan as a super speedway? Do they count it as a speedway?
I would I don't think they consider it a super speedway, but I think they consider it a bigger track. There, I didn't really read into much the threshold, but I'd assume anything like a mile and a half and over.
I feel like Michigan could just get a tiny, tiny bit. Not a big one, because they're already going 200 miles per hour going into turn one. Just a tiny, tiny bit. It'd just be better.
I think on a track like Michigan, it would be better. I don't think the super speedways need it. I think tracks like Michigan, Pocono could use it, but I really think the short tracks could use it because it wouldn't be like the biggest issue to solve, but I do think a higher horsepower package would have helped this weekend in Martinsville. Yeah, having a good tire compound that's not made by a broken fucking company, that would help too. But no, they won't do that. So let's go with the next best thing. So we'll see how that works out. It's not really clear how they're going to implement it yet. It's still kind of in the early stages of discussion. Probably going to be a 2027 thing, to be honest. But it is interesting to see how they're going to roll that out.
There's a sneeze. Is there another one coming?
No.
Yes. No. No.
Dale Jr. came out recently and said that he is not happy with the AJ Foyt Hall of Fame nomination. That's a rare Dale Jr. L. But sure.
I feel like, in my opinion, AJ Foyt is perfect for the Hall of Fame.
He does. So, but Dale Jr.
Kevin
does.
Harvick, on the other hand? Really? At least not right now.
Well, he's not eligible right now.
He's a nominee.
I thought you had to be out of racing for 5 years to be nominated. And he retired 3 years ago.
Did you not watch the pre-race show?
No, I didn't watch the pre-race show, Gary.
Mike Helton came over and told Kevin Harvick he is nominated as one of the Hall of Fame inductees.
They must have changed the rules then. They must have changed the rules then. I don't remember. Anyway, now Dale Jr. I think what Dale Jr. is going for with his argument here is kind of what you see with the controversy over the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees, where they're like iconic, like in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame case, right? These are iconic singers that are getting nominated, but should they really be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Like Mariah Carey should not be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Same thing with AJ Foyt should not be in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, right? AJ Foyt should definitely be in the Racing Hall of Fame, but not the NASCAR Hall of Fame. I think that's what Dale Jr. is trying to get at, and it's a good point. But who cares?
Here's my thing. He doesn't like that AJ Foyt is a nominee for the Hall of Fame. But yet, wasn't he just complaining, or wasn't he asking that shouldn't Xfinity drivers be a part of the NASCAR Hall of Fame?
Which they should.
I mean, they should, because you got Justin Allgaier that's getting trash cars in his past, and he didn't do shit. But now when he's with Junior Motorsports, look at him.
Well,
I feel like he's gonna win the championship.
Justin Allgaier was always a solid Xfinity driver. Same with Elliott Sadler, another really solid Xfinity driver. Didn't Elliott Sadler saw more success in Cup than Justin Allgaier has, obviously. But,
Right. But you got to think also because wasn't Elliott Sadler was in a decent motorsport or decent team, with Casey Kane. Who else was in there?
yeah, he was at the Wood Brothers.
Well, yeah,
He was at the Wood Brothers, then he went to Yates. That was his best stint,
right.
was with Yates. And then he went to Evernham, and he sucked. Then he left NASCAR after that.
Including that flip. Or including that wreck that he had at Pocono.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about that. That could have killed him.
That could have killed him. But it didn't. He's still alive.
But you could tell in his face, he's like, hurt.
Yeah, I think anybody would be hurt taking a hit like that.
I wouldn't.
Now, Gary, you wouldn't feel anything because you'd die.
You got a point.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm saying for Dale Jr.'s perspective. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. I think AJ Foyt's a great racer, and he definitely deserves to be a Hall of Famer. Should he be in the NASCAR Hall of Fame? Yeah, probably not. But who cares? Who the fuck cares? Put him in. That's my thought. Anyway, a couple other things. Daniel Dye got reinstated by NASCAR after his suspension for homophobic tweets. And funny enough, this is not the first time we're going to mention an athlete who made homophobic tweets in this episode. But he got reinstated, but then colleague released his ass. So he's gone. No more Daniel Dye. Not surprising. The Corey LaJoie has been announced that he will fill in for the remainder of the 2026 season in the 10 truck. So, not really any improvement, but PR. And then the only other NASCAR news that I had, Casey Mears will be running 5 races with Beard Motorsports this year in an effort to get to 500 NASCAR starts. So there you go. That's all I had NASCAR-wise. I don't know if you have anything else, Gary. Or...
Not that I can think of, no.
Alrighty then.
We should talk about Bristol, though.
Well, Bristol's not the next race on the schedule. NASCAR, the Cup Series, is off this weekend. But Truck and Xfinity are still on. They're at Rockingham this weekend. So we can preview Bristol next week.
I still think NASCAR should come to Rockingham, the Cup Series.
So obviously no chips this week because the Cup Series is on bye. But who do we think is going to win Rockingham for Truck and Xfinity?
So that means does that mean I'm still going to have 0 losses or 0 wins, I guess?
For this week.
Yay. I get a whole week with nothing. Usual.
I'm going to pick... You know what? Fuck it. I want to pick Corey LaJoie in his first race with the Collie number 10 truck to win Rockingham. Why not?
Hmm. 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 Uh, I'm gonna go with Adam Andretti.
And then Xfinity, I'm picking Justin Allgaier to win again. Screw it.
Sammy Smith.
All right, cool. That's it for that. Now we can get to the real meat and potatoes of the episode. What do we want to do first? Basketball or hockey? I got a lot to say about both.
We'll do hockey first because what
Okay.
happened?
Okay, we'll do hockey first. Oh boy. There's a lot to say about hockey. MSU started their NCAA tournament action began last weekend for NCAA hockey. They only do 16 teams in their tournaments, so they start with the Sweet 16. MSU got the 1 seed, and oh man, the first game was tight and annoying, but they pulled it out, beating UConn 2-1. Trey Augustine made 44 saves, or 43 saves, as UConn had double shots on goal that we did. But, didn't matter. They pulled it out, and they won. So that was that. Then we get to the second game of the tournament, and guess who they get to play? A Big Ten opponent. And not just any Big Ten opponent, Wisconsin, the team that split the season series with them. Just great. Thank you, committee, for doing that. I'm going to get ranty too much here because I made a rant on it already. Go check that out. I really thought that MSU had finally turned the corner. Third time was going to be the charm. They were going to make a Frozen 4. Everything was going to be fine. Everything was going to be fine. And they were up 3-1 with 3 minutes left to go. I thought it was going to be fine. It wasn't fine. 2 goals in 34 fucking seconds. Are we being for real right now? 2 goals in 34 fucking seconds. So then we go to overtime. Of course we go to overtime. No momentum at all on our side. And guess what happens? They blow it in 26 seconds. 26 seconds. Literally carbon copy what happened at the Ohio State game a couple weeks ago. Like, are we being fucking for real right now? This team is never going to win a national championship. This was their chance. Up 3-1 with 3 minutes to go. This was their chance. And they blow it. Giving up 3 goals in the total of less than 4 minutes. It's fucking ridiculous, and it's the epitome of their entire season. Playing way too cocky, playing way too conservatively. I mean, seriously, Adam Nightingale, did you think it was any bit smart to go into penalty kill mode with 18 minutes and 30 seconds left in a game? When you're only up 1? Or what are we doing? That's how they played in the New Hampshire game when they blew that. Game number 1. That's how they did it when they blew it at home against Wisconsin. Same team they blew it to here. They blew it against Wisconsin. That's how they blew it against Ohio State 3 fucking times. That's how they blew it against Minnesota last game of the regular season. Like, seriously, what the fuck are we doing? And this one wasn't even on Trey Augustine. Well, the overtime goal was on him, but it shouldn't even have come down to that point. You can't expect anybody. You can't expect a fucking walrus that's 20 feet tall and covers the entire net. You can't even expect them to be able to defend a goal nonstop for 18 fucking minutes. Seriously, Frozen 4 on the line, third period, and you only have 5 shots on goal? It's even worse because one of those goals went in. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous performance. I think at this point, we have to have serious conversations about the tenure of Adam Nightingale. A guy who has now blown it 3 straight years as a 1 seed. 3 straight years. No Frozen 4s. 3 years as a 1 seed. He blew it 2 of those 3 years against a conference opponent. So where's the answers? There's so many NHL draft picks on your team. So many. And you can't even get 1 Frozen 4. It's just fucking ridiculous.
We're not okay.
So now Porter Martone's gone. The Flyers called him up, so he's gone. The Red Wings called up Trey Augustine to the Griffins. Thank God. Thank fucking God. Not for the sense of the Red Wings, but for the sense that MSU can finally have a goalie that can make a save in a big game for once. So yeah, hockey's in shambles. Hockey's in fucking shambles. You think it's much better at the Red Wings level? Oh boy, it's not. They lost to the Senators 3-2. They beat the Sabres, surprisingly, 5-2. And then they give up a 5-goal first period to the Flyers. They made a rally, but they lost 5-3. So yeah, eternal hockey pain. The March collapse continues. In fact, the March collapse is well underway again, as the Red Wings are on the road currently against the Penguins and are down 3-0 after 1. The Red Wings have won 5 total games since the start of February. Just a wonderful time to be a hockey fan here, ain't it? Anyways, Gary, take it away with the K-Wings.
If you were to come into here about a month ago and ask me, do you think the K-Wings can make the playoffs? I would be telling you no, because they are not that talented right now. They would have shut my mouth up. On March 27th, they go in and they beat the Arendak Thunder. Which is weird because for their chant, they do the Arendak Thunder, do the skull, skull.
That stupid
They do
chant.
that stint. Yes. But they go in and the Thunder lose to the Kalamazoo Wings 4-3. It is so close because when you look at it then, Kalamazoo Wings are only behind the Bison by one game in fourth place, or the fourth place team. Then the Bison won on that day, so we're still one game behind. Then the K-Wings said, you know what, we ain't giving up. Because we'll just demolish the Thunder 6-1, so we just already won the series. Now we just need the Bison to lose. Well, the Bison won. Actually, they went into overtime against the Comets and then lost. So they were one game ahead. But this one was crucial. On March 29th, 2026, the K-Wings sweep the Thunder by beating them 2-1. And let me tell you something. The K-Wings' first 3-game sweep since the also a season high 4-game win streak for the K-Wings. I'm actually excited. And these next couple days, I'm going to be watching very closely. But I know for a fact we're going to choke. Now, I shouldn't say that because of what Tyler said when we went to the Toledo game. And I said we're going to choke it. And then they didn't.
And they didn't choke.
But let me tell you something. If we stay in this position, we're facing Toledo. Okay? We could have a chance to get into the third place position. Third place. We wouldn't be facing Toledo. We'd probably be facing the fourth place team, whoever's in fourth place. And we would get home ice advantage. Or no. Yeah. No. We wouldn't. But here's the thing. We have Toledo next. Toledo. I know we went to your guys' place and destroyed you. And I know I looked cocky. Please, let us have the chance. Let us have the chance to make the playoff again. Please, I beg of you. I watched that Bison versus Toledo game, after that K-Wings game to see if the Bison would lose. It was tied in the third period, and I was about to go off if they would have gotten to another overtime game. I would have. With 3 seconds left, flashbacks hit me. You remember that goal that went in for the K-Wings, Tyler?
How could I ever forget?
It happened again, but to the Bisons. And I loved it. I loved it. In Toledo, they had to look it over to be sure that the time didn't run out before it touched the line. It went over before the time ran out, and Toledo won. Which means your Kalamazoo Wings, right now, have the last playoff spot. But we might lose it to Toledo. But you know what? Let's just be happy. Let's raise a banner to say we actually tried. But that's it for the K-Wings. But there was also ECHL playoff clinchers. As you know, the Toledo Walleye clinched. The Walleye clinched a playoff spot. They were the first Central team to actually clinch. So, the other Central team clinched.
What is Garry getting buzzed on over here?
So
every time he tries to talk about the other Central team, he goes, "Brr!"
So Detroit scored a goal. That's what that was.
Woohoo! Reverse jinx works. The Red Wings are back, baby. Woo!
Okay.
It's so funny.
Now I hope I can say things and it won't horn. Hey, the other Central team. I keep looking down, thinking it's gonna happen. The other Central team that clinched was the Fort Wayne Comets. Which, let's be honest here, Fort Wayne and Toledo were gonna clinch no matter what. I don't care who you are. Toledo's a good team. I mean, we went there and we saw so many banners. I mean, dude, the Comets are really good too. They're one of the originals.
When did you go see Fort Wayne?
What?
When did you go see the Fort Wayne Comets?
I didn't. I'm saying when we went to Toledo, we saw all those banners. And I'm saying Fort Wayne also is good too.
Oh.
I didn't go see them, but I know they're good because they were one of the original ECHL teams that came in with the K-Wings and stuff like that. But anyways, they clinched. I don't know what division. If you see me looking up there, I have all the pucks and their divisions, so I'm looking at that. The Idaho Steelheads clinched one of their Mountain Division. So they clinched. They're in. The Mariners, the Maine Mariners, clinched their ticket. In the North Division. And then the Wheeling Nailers also clinched in the North Division. And that was it recently. So those guys are all clinched. They are going to the Kelly Cup playoffs. Now it's time to see who the Central third and fourth playoff teams are, because I hope one of them is Kalamazoo. So I believe in Kalamazoo, always believe in Kalamazoo, but for right now, it's a little bit right here. But that's it for the K-Wings.
Good stuff. You had something else on here too, hockey related, and you wanted to bring up?
Yeah. As you know, I'm also a fan of the Flint Firebirds. Flint, this is actually the playoffs. And I forgot that they were doing the playoffs right now. They're facing the Owen Sound. They're called the Owen Sound Attack. The Owen Sound ain't attacking anything. Let me tell you. Game 1, Flint beat Owen Sound 8-1. Okay. Maybe Owen Sound will come back in the set. No. Owen Sound only scored 1 goal and Flint scored 11. But you think,
shit.
you think Owen Sound would, do that comeback, No. This time, Owen Sound didn't even score a single goal, and Flint scored 10.
Oh, shit.
So, if you calculate that, 29 goals for Flint and only 2 for the Owen Sound. I think we know who's winning this series.
Pretty self-explanatory, I would assume.
Right now, Saginaw actually is losing. I'm actually looking at that right now, and Saginaw is currently losing, and they are 0-3 in the series.
The Saginaw is in the same league as Flint? I didn't know that.
Saginaw Spirit. They usually fight for a trophy every year, since they're so close.
Yeah. Interesting.
But if you guys want to have us talk about Flint, put it down in the comments. I will try in my best to talk about it.
That can be a next season thing.
Yeah.
Before we get to the Final Four preview for hockey, I did want to bring up something NHL related. The Maple Leafs fired their GM, which I think is really funny because Toronto still is just as much of a failure organization as the Red Wings are. So
failure since '68. Toronto, listen. I know you in Chicago hate Detroit with a burning passion, and trust me, we hate you guys more than you hate us. But listen, we won multiple championships in the 2000s. That was Toronto's last championship? Oh yeah, me and Tyler weren't even born yet. So
that means we're old.
And also that means
old.
Whenever you guys are leading in a series, you guys always choke it. Last year you had a 3-0 lead in the playoffs, and look what happened. You choked it.
Got your death.
Yeah,
got your taxes. And you got the Maple Leafs choking in the playoffs.
Yeah, we choke our games, but at least we do it in the regular season and not the playoffs.
True.
So, and I think Chicago would think the same way.
True.
But actually, Chicago has won championships in the 2000s, unlike you guys. So,
true.
The only good thing I could say about Chicago teams and fans. Heck, your basketball team won in the 2000s.
True.
Speaking of basketball.
Nope, we're not done with that. Done with hockey. The Final Four is set for hockey. It's not until next week, so we won't cover it in the next episode. It'll be the episode after that. The Final Four is Wisconsin, fuck you. North Dakota State, Denver, who beat Western Michigan, so Western's out too, and Michigan. The literally a nightmare blunt rotation. Michigan, the team that beat MSU, Denver, who beat Western Michigan, and North Dakota State, the only really, or North Dakota, not North Dakota State, North Dakota. The only
Yeah, you say North Dakota State to somebody, they will hurt you.
the only somewhat rootable team here.
No, I'm not rooting for anybody.
So yeah, pretty shitty tournament. All things considered. Fuck you. Frozen 4 in Las Vegas. That's all I gotta say about that shit ass tournament. Anyway, that's all I had about hockey. Unless you anything else, Gary.
Nope. We already wasted a lot of time just talking about hockey.
That's good. That's the point of a podcast. So that's good. Oh, but we got basketball. And oh boy, do we have basketball. Lots of basketball. You know, if it wasn't for hockey, I'd probably be a lot more mad at MSU's men's basketball team because holy fuck. That game against UConn was so infuriating. So infuriating. How the fuck in God's name do you get down 25-6 in the first 10 minutes of the game? 25-6. You think if they hadn't been able to somewhat keep up on offense, then when they went on their second half surge and actually took the lead at one point, but then blew that lead and lost, then they would have actually not fucking mattered. They would have blown UConn out of the water. But no. Not going to go too ranty here either because I already made a rant on MSU basketball as well, so you can go check that out. It was bad. Very, very bad. Really slow start. Again, just like hockey, the epitome of their entire fucking season. How many times did we get off to such a slow fucking start in the first half so that we are playing down to our competition or we're getting our ass beat by a better fucking team, and then when we have our second half surge, we either run out of gas and the other team is able to then re-blow us out of the water, or the other opponent, or we actually somewhat are blowing out a low-life team and they end up almost coming back into the game. The first thing is what happened here. We had a lead. We were being down 25-6. We took the fucking lead against UConn. And then we couldn't make a shot at the end of the fucking game. Jeremy Fears, terrible fucking game. Alright, want to say that now. Jeremy Fears had a terrible game. The Bigs, terrible. How do you let Terrace fucking Reed of all people, cook you in the paint at the end of the game? Former Michigan transfer, by the way. Can never escape them. So stupid. So fucking annoying. This team, they couldn't make three. They couldn't stop anybody in the paint. Tom Izzo going back to his ideology. Oh, when the other team is 6 for 8 from 3-point range, let's just keep doubling in the paint and make them shoot the three. That totally won't backfire. And then in the second half, when UConn finally stopped making threes, got cold off from three, what do? And then they start cooking in the paint. What do? Not double team in the fucking paint. What are you doing, Izzo? Fucking double team Terrace Reed in the paint. Unlike hockey, though, I'm not really worried about it. Whatever. We're losing a lot of seniors, but it's whatever. I don't really give a fuck. Izzo's got a really good recruiting class coming in. Caleb Glenn's going to be healthy. I think he's going to be really good. So, you know what? I'm not too worried about it. I think they'll be fine. That's my thoughts on that. For women's basketball, nothing crazy as they're in the off season now. Except it was announced that Anise Sotelo's going in the portal.
Why is that a good thing?
Because she sucks. Apparently, she's going to be getting replaced. Well, she is going to be getting replaced because that really good recruit that Robin's getting is supposed to be really good and will take Anise's job. So I'm not surprised she's leaving. So, good riddance. And then staying in the college realm, it's time for the Final Four. Well, actually, before that, do have one piece. I have one piece of NCAA action. North Carolina fired Hubert Davis. Bye. For 5 seasons, they fired his ass. God damn it, I'm out of water. Alright, whatever. So I just want to point out that Hubert Davis gone. Big job open there at North Carolina. Be interesting to see who they find to replace him. And where that will take the program. The Final Four. For the men, it was a crazy path to the Final Four. UConn stunned Duke on a late 3 to win that game 73-72. Which was wild. Nebraska and Iowa, really good finish there. Iowa won and then lost to Illinois. So Illinois is in the Final Four with UConn. That's the one matchup. Yeah, who saw that coming at the beginning of the season? Illinois, UConn, Final Four. And then the other bracket's even worse. Arizona versus Michigan. Ooh.
That's,
should be at least a good game.
I wouldn't say go Cats because of LeBron James' son being on that team. But to be honest with you, I hate Michigan more than I hate his son and his family.
That's a wild thing for you to say, Gary.
Why? Why is it wild?
To hate on the family of LeBron James is wild. What did they ever do to you?
Never mind.
True.
I was going to say play basketball, but then I was like, oh, wait a minute. People could take that the wrong way.
That's strike 1. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I have a fear that Michigan's going to steamroll Arizona. Though they've really been unopposed most of the tournament. They steamrolled Tennessee, but Arizona's been steamrolling their competition as well. So I think that's going to be a good game. And honestly, I am very surprised with Illinois' run. I thought Brad Underwood might even choke in the first round, and they made the Final Four. I'm unbelievably shocked. And you know what? UConn, I'm shocked too. I thought they might lose to UCLA. And they got here. So, pretty cool stuff, especially with the fact, it's going to be the 1 seed matchup's going to be great. It's going to be Titanic matchups. Probably the 2 best teams in the country right there. And it's probably going to be the decider for the national championship right there. And then you have another good matchup. Illinois and UConn, 2 teams that I think will put up a good fight. So it'll be interesting to see. The Big Ten has a chance to finally break its curse of not winning a national championship. They got 2 teams in it.
But we don't want to break the curse.
I think it'd be funny if they both lost. But
I just don't want them to break the curse because the last national champion in the Big Ten was Michigan State to win a national championship.
that is true.
So go UConn and go Arizona.
So should be a good Final Four there. On the women's side, things were a little bit more boring. But it's okay, Michigan lost. And they lost bad. They lost bad to Texas. The women's Final Four is all the 1 seeds. Wow. What great parity the NCAA women's basketball has. South Carolina versus UConn. Should be a pretty good game, but I see UConn winning that one pretty handily. And then Texas and UCLA. All again, should be a pretty good game, but I think UCLA is going to pull that one out because they have a 7-foot center. So, 2 good games there, for sure. Should have set up a good national championship game, too. So, a couple good upsets in the women's tournament this year. Iowa and Ohio State both getting embarrassed on their home court. Pretty funny. But that's all the college action that I had to talk about. Oh, but there's some pro stuff to talk about. The Pistons NBA playoffs are coming up fast. Only a few games left in the regular season. The Pistons trying to hold on without Cade Cunningham to try and get the number 1 seed in the East. They beat the Lakers 113-110 in a gritty last-second effort. They followed that up by losing to the Hawks 130-129 in overtime. They were down almost 30 points at one point, came all the way back to force overtime, and they couldn't stop C.J. McCollum, who has now beat up the Pistons 5 times this season because he played them every time with the Wizards, and then got traded to the Hawks, who they played again. Great. But then they rebounded and beat the Pelicans 129-108. Then they had an impressive road win over the Timberwolves 109-87. And then most recently, the Pistons lost to the Thunder 114-110 in overtime. And let me tell you, folks, the first time that these two teams played this year, SGA and Chet did not play. This time they were playing. When I tell you, it's one thing to just see it on, social media. People talking shit about SGA and the Thunder and how they are foul baiters. But when you see it play out live on national television, it's a completely different story. Because it's true. It's absolutely true. The Oklahoma City Thunder are a whiny, dirty team that bitch and whine like babies and get whatever they want. Because ESPN and the NBA love their MVP stories. And it's fucking ridiculous. Classic examples all around here, but let me point out a couple. Pistons were down a good amount. They were down almost the entire game. They were down their starting 5 almost. They were down Cade. They're down Isaiah Stewart. They're down Jalen Duren. They're down Duncan Robinson. And they're down Tobias Harris. Their only starter that played the other night, was Asar Thompson. And they, despite that, on the road with SGA and Chet playing, somehow were able to stay in it. They were down a good amount at points. But they came back. Here's a good example. Third quarter. Paul Reed goes in against Chet. Gets an and one, right? Ties the game up at 85. Right before the official hands the ball to Paul Reed so he can shoot his free throw, Oklahoma City conveniently gets the challenge off just in time. Challenging the foul. They don't overturn the foul call. It's still a foul. But they take the bucket away. You know why they take the bucket away? Because Paul Reed traveled. You know why Paul Reed fucking traveled? Because he was... You know why Paul Reed fucking traveled? Because he had some jersey was being grabbed and he was dragged to the ground. How about later in the fourth quarter? Now the Pistons are winning. They're winning by 7, 97-90. Oklahoma City's coach, seen enough. SGA checks back in. Immediately gets 6 foul calls in his favor. Isn't that fair? Isn't it fair when everything goes his way? Isn't it fair when every little bump, every little push, every little everything is called? Yet on the other end of the floor, when the Pistons players are literally coming off the floor with literal blood on their arms from scratches from the OKC players, that's not called? You want to say that's fair? So fast forward a bit. The game's tied at 101. Oklahoma City has the last shot. SGA with the ball in his hands. Let's go over the three. The three goes in with 4 seconds left. But hold on. A moment of karma. And holy shit, did this feel good. They called SGA for an offensive foul. Yeah, it was tacky, but it was so damn symbolic. It was so funny. So we go to overtime. Thunder win in overtime because why the fuck wouldn't they? Whatever. It's not really any deal at all in the grand scheme of things. The Pistons didn't lose any ground in the 1 seed race because the Celtics lost. So, fine. They're already clinched a playoff spot. They're fine. Not a big deal. They put up great effort. Missing 5 starters in a really, really tough showing on the road. They did really, really well. So I commend them for their efforts. It's a really good game. A game they should have won. They missed like 13 free throws. That would have been a big difference maker. But guess not. Wasn't meant to be. But anyway, that was that. Oh, by the way, Jay Willie, that Jay Will guy, fucking asshole of a player, dude. He got 2 charge calls in his favor. Both times his feet weren't set. Fuck that guy. Fuck Chet, too. Chet's a big-ass baby. Anyway.
Pistons are currently leading right now. The Toronto Raptors actually 24-20 by recording this.
So. That is true. 26-20 at the end of the first quarter, actually. Looks like they just made another 2. So that's good. Tobias Harris is back. Jalen Duren's back. Duncan Robinson's back. So that's good. Duren already with 11. Damn. Nice. So good stuff.
Tell you, this Pistons team is decent.
This Pistons team's got a really good shot to go to the NBA Finals when their backups are contending with the top team in the league. So, got some good shots there. But so, all good things for the Pistons. Not a big deal at all. And we will recap that game that they're going on right now in the next episode. Before we end this video, though, I did have one NBA-related topic to talk about. It's not the Pistons. But it's kind of Pistons-related, in fact. Everybody remember the big trade the Pistons did? When they traded Jaden Ivey? And do you remember when I made a big no-no and made a big oopsie call and thought that would be a bad trade for the Pistons? Well, boy, was I proven wrong. Jaden Ivey just recently got cut from the Bulls. You want to know why he got cut? For making homophobic remarks on social media. Bro pulled a Daniel Dye. This guy, since getting traded, has been hurt again. Made that stupid quarterback play. And now has done this. To say the Pistons dodged a bullet is an understatement. This is right here. Trading Jaden Ivey to the Bulls for the Pistons. That's the best move they've made in 20 years. And I'm not even joking. The other hand, though, I do feel bad for Jaden Ivey in a way because he seems to be going through some really bad mental stuff. And hopefully, now that he's cut and out away from a job, he will get the help that he needs. Because you shouldn't be saying that, buddy. The fuck you doing? Just go play basketball. But anyway, that's all of the basketball stuff that I had. Garry, I don't know if you had anything else to share.
Nope. Nothing.
Alright, well, that's going to do it then for this episode of the Live, Laugh, Laugh podcast. Another good one in the books. Next week, we will recap the national champions for men's and women's basketball. We will catch up on the NBA playoff race, the NHL playoff race. We'll go over NASCAR stuff and anything else that comes our way. So anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Stay tuned for other much more amazing content. And until next time, me and Garry will see you guys later. Goodbye.